expertise in that.
Remote? Do you have the remote?
Yeah, it will come. Yeah. Directly on laptop. Slide change.
Oh, just by here. It's okay. So, high tibial osteotomy, we're talking about high tibial osteotomy correction for varus deformity. And we'll objective from this presentation to go over the alignment, indications, and how to perform. So we need always to overall alignment and to see range of motion and check the stability and to check also for leg length assessment. So we have to obtain the right radiographic image, full AB, 3 views, and we need to get lateral, sunrise, and maybe CT and MRI, depends on the deformity. So we need to assess how far is the alignment, whether the varus deformity is coming from the femur or from the tibia or from both, and how much each side contribute. This was already talking about earlier, so I'm not going to repeat it. I'm going to skip here. Indications, always we talk about unicompartmental, under age of 60, good range of motion, no flexion contraction, overweight, maybe a question here, loading or the medial compartment or grafting. These are some of the cases that we indicate. And we have to choose the patient. Okay, so which bone? We talk about, we need to change the deformity or the pathology. We need to assess where is the pathology coming. Is it coming from the femur or from the tibia, like the case we present just now, where the farmer who had an osteotomy both sides, the tibia and the femur, or just work on the tibia, depends on the pathology. So we have indications like young patient, varus knee, ACL deficient, and I'm going to present this patient. This is a 26 years old male who present to my clinic with this image and complain of a varus deformity involving both. And he's, I would say, BMI above 40. So this is his image standing. This is when we measure the tibia, is like around 68 degree instead of the 83, so 87, sorry. So it's like almost 20 degrees of varus. He's mainly complaining on the right side, but also he has it on both sides. So you can see the tibia on the right side is about 22 degrees of varus compared to the left side, which is about 18 degrees of varus. The question was, he was seen by several surgeons where it was indicated that he might need the surgery on both sides. I disagree, and we thought we can do it all from the tibia. So we checked his MRI. If you look at the MRI, the knees was good. There was no pathology. He's only 26 years old. So he's the same age of my son at that time. So we summarize, we get the plans for him. So we discussed with the patient that we'll do only one side. I will go with the right side initially, and we'll do the other side later on. So when we talk about tibia osteotomy, there's multiple tibia. We need osteotomies. We need to worry about changing 22 degrees, so that means we're going to elevate the medial joint line about 20 millimeter at least. And this will affect the tibial tubercle, the patellar tendon length, so we need to work on that when we operate, and we need to know what method of fixation. So when we review the literature, we talk about biplanar high tibial osteotomy, which was presented just now. But this is, you can do it, you can cut around the patellar tendon caudally, Saaed, if there's a minor change. But what happens if you're going to do a bigger change? You need to look at cutting the tibial tubercle on the lower part, or like Dr. Sheetal shows that they did that deformity with a separate tibial tubercle osteotomy. But that's a bigger procedure because in this case, they need to correct the slope anterior posteriorly from medial and lateral as well. Then there is a biplanar lateral hemi wedge where you plan it from lateral side, where you cut a wedge, and then you tilt the tibia and you plate it laterally. So this is a described technique as well. And the third technique also is an inversed V-shape high tibial osteotomy, where you cut from one side, you take a bone wedge, and you put it on the other side after you tilt the joint line. Also here, these are based on lateral side. There's different type of fixations. You can use an Elizarov technique, or you can use a nail with the plate. There's many ways of doing the osteotomy. It depends on the deformity you are correcting and what is good in your hand. If you are an Elizarov surgeon, everything like you is an Elizarov fixation. So we took to the patient. Patient was not keen on having any external fixation, so we planned to do it with the medial, with the plate at one go, acute correction. So we talked about this just now, so I don't need to repeat it. That's on the surgery. So what we did with him, we went medially, we did an open wedge. We break the lateral cortex because it's a huge correction. And we felt that with the TomoFX plate medially is good. Plus, we used 2 iliac crest bone block to fill. Each one was about 20 millimeter in length as a wedge or structural allograft. And we cut the tibial tubercle distally to avoid shortening the patellar tendon. And you can see on the lateral side that his healing osteotomy. And this is him after 2 months this is after 2 weeks when he came for the dressing. And you can see he's a little bit on the chubby side. And he still have the other side. So we did the similar procedure on the other side with the large correction and with the plate. And it went both, corrected both sides. So the size of the defect is not the limiting factor on what you do when you correct. If you use a good fixation method, you can achieve it. But you have to plan your procedure properly. So take-home message: proper assessment of the normal alignment. Osteotomy need proper preoperative assessment, and it can be done with a closed wedge or open wedge. Thank you.
Thank you, Saaed.